I'm John DeSando.
Classics, let's go to the movies and share some popcorn, soda pop with our friends. Turn off our cell phones and get away. Night or day, it's John DeSando on the radio. We'll watch the credits from up high and low. Cinema Classics on.
Cinema Classics is produced by John DeSando. It airs Thursdays at 8:01 p.m. Cinema Classics is produced by John DeSando. It airs Thursdays at 8:01 p.m. on WCBE 90.5 FM. Listen to shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Kevin Carr.
And this is Cinema Classics. Now, Kev, anytime you and I are in a room,
Yeah.
it's never quiet.
It never is.
And so,
Except unless there's a movie, and then we got to watch the movie.
and then we do. As long as Wayne is not with us, we're okay.
Well, yeah, Wayne does cause problems.
So, Kev, this is probably one of the reasons I really like the Quiet Place franchise.
Yeah.
I think the conceit about our having to shut up and not use our phones and do anything else is a really good one, and it seems to work for me now the third time around.
Yeah, you know, that's true. I remember when the first one came out, and I was dreading to see it because I'm like, oh God, it's going to be people talking and eating and phones. And it was quiet, and I'm like, they should make, like, you know, Fast and Furious and quiet, and maybe that'll work.
Well, it's called Quiet Place, A Quiet Place, Day One.
Yes.
And all right, so this is an origin story. So you have two of them, and then this is.
No, but yeah.
Oh no!
I wouldn't call it an origin
Really?
story.
All right.
You don't get much. Here's the thing. In the second movie, they already had a day one scene. That gives you no more information that you get in this
true. I
one.
remember that one. Actually, I liked their opening scene.
That was the only way they could bring John Krasinski back.
You're right. I know, and he's not in this one,
No.
but you can feel his presence. I mean,
I think he worked on the story
Yes.
and he produced it, but it's a different director.
and Sarnowski, I think, who was the director, was with him from the beginning. I thought. Did he work on?
I don't know off the top of
Yeah.
my
Okay.
head.
I
Very
think he might have.
They feel like they're all coming from the same
Yeah.
brain trust.
And I do have to say how much I love Sarnowski's Pig.
Okay, I've not seen that.
Yeah.
I've heard so many
I
good
know, I
things.
mentioned that before, and I love it. I can't believe it. It's a bit different from this one, although this one is bizarre enough, right?
Well, this one's this is pretty mainstream after two movies with it. Yeah.
It's one of those ones where it doesn't annoy me that much when I see the monsters. You know how I always get annoyed when they try to, just leave it alone. Don't even depict them. Just have them lurking there.
Well, I think they needed to show them in the first movie. And once you see them in the first movie, and this is the third film, you know what they look like.
Yeah, right. So they're coming from outer space. We're never told. The backstory is not
Well, from space. I don't know if it was from outer space, but somewhere.
right from space. We see them all coming in like lightning bolts or
Yeah,
something.
meteors.
Meteors, yeah, are coming in, and everybody's hiding for good reason, because these guys dispatch whoever they hear.
Yeah.
And we do really what I think is two-hander here,
Okay.
right? I mean, this film is really about two people who are
Really one mainly, but yeah.
yeah, but I mean the two of them are the bulk of the film, and so whereas I liked the one with the family at the beginning, and even in the second one, I kind of like when I have a bunch of vulnerable people around.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I think, yes, it's two people, but I think it's Lupita Nyong'o's, her film.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Absolutely,
I see, yeah.
because she's there from the beginning, and the other guy who shows up, he's sort of one of those second act. They always introduce a new character in the second act. That's kind of like a screenwriting thing, And while he's there, he works, but he does serve her in the story. His existence in the story is really nothing more than a conduit to develop her character more, which is actually rare to see in a film from that gender. And it's not a.
I made that point in my review. It's exceptional.
Yeah.
The weight that she carries in this film.
It's her film, yeah. And it's whereas I compared it to the Bike Riders to somewhere, and I said, well, the Bike Riders, as much as Jodie Comer's in the movie, she serves no other purpose
That's right.
than to develop Austin Butler's character,
Yeah.
which isn't very well developed.
So we have a post-apocalyptic or apocalyptic, I guess you could say
It's
both.
on the way to get there, yeah.
Yeah, and which they're going through a not always impressively destroyed New York City.
Well, I mean, like after 9/11, how much,
Yeah, I know.
how much urban carnage do we need to see?
Right.
Oh, here's the thing, I have such mixed feelings about this.
Okay, good.
On one hand, I thought it was a very well done snapshot of A Quiet Place.
Yes.
I mean, I thought, oh, it's interesting, bring it out of the rural area, throw it into a city.
Yeah.
That's neat. But it's just another story
And
of
that's right.
somebody's journey. And so I don't think it brought anything new to the table. At all. I mean, you don't get anything new.
That's right. That's right.
But I thought Lupita Nyong'o's fantastic. She's fantastic in everything she does. But she was great in it. And she carries you along, but I felt this would have been a better first movie. And my only other issue is I love the idea of transplanting it from the rural area to the city, but I would have liked to have seen more of what that would mean to the aliens and the obstacles. And there's so much concrete and metal and corridors and curves that I would have rather seen how hard it was for them to get at their victims.
Yes.
Because they're not just hiding behind trees.
But actually, Sarnowski takes a lot of liberties. For instance, he takes liberties with the cat.
Yeah.
No cat's gonna find, after.
That's a very dedicated cat.
Cute as can be, and I can't tell which one is real and which one is CGI.
Yeah.
But it is one beautiful black and white cat.
Oh yeah, it's a great cat.
And I think his name is Frodo or something.
Yeah, I think it is Frodo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know it is. But anyway, he's a very nice adjunct to the business going on there. And one of the things I admired about this is they don't let it slip into romance.
No, that's something they have been shying away from for the last 20, 30 years, which is good. It used to be, if this were made in the 60s,
Oh.
there would have been like, we got a male and a female, well, they got to get together, but that's not what they're going to do now.
Yeah.
And I think that that's realistic.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she's a terminally ill patient. I mean, kind of her time for flings are over.
Yeah, one of the services he does is to go get medicine for her.
Yeah.
But she is definitely on her way out.
Well, and especially because she's not going to be able to get all the treatments available.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're moving to go to her. Well, first of all, one of the cute conceits of this is that she needs to have her final pizza
Final piece of pizza.
from Patsy's. And apparently it's a real place in Brooklyn or something.
Probably looks better than it did in the film.
I know that it didn't look good, did it?
No, it looked a
And they
little
were
rough.
jumping down on it, but that was one of the cute things she used to do with her dad.
Well, and I think the because we know from the moment it starts that she's a terminal patient. So I heard somebody once complain. They said, "Well, this is a the reason they didn't like it is because there was nothing in it for her. She was she's on her way out and she doesn't have medical treatment at this point.
Right.
So she's not going to live long. So." Whether she's taken out by whatever the diseases or the creatures. But I'm like, this is her doing it on her own terms. So I think it certainly serves her, and it serves her character. Mm-hmm. And that's what the pizza symbolizes, what the cat symbolizes her connection to the humanity and everything like that. Yeah.
And the final shot would suggest that she may not be in.
Well, I don't like to talk about.
Well, it suggests.
Yeah. You never know. I mean,
right, and that's what I'm saying.
But this is part of my beef with the Quiet Place movies all around. Is like the first one, it ends and you're like, oh, they now know how to kill these things. They're going to go on the warpath, and then the next movie they're right back to sneaking around on dirt.
So, Quiet Place, day one. Kevin, you suggested something that I hadn't thought about. Maybe I did a little bit. Nothing much happens.
Yeah.
I mean, the two of them are trekking through this torn city and going toward their boats that are going to rescue everybody.
Yeah.
Because the kryptonite here is water.
Well, and that was a part of the second movie. I mean, John Ansu's character is the character from part 2, and so that boat gets somewhere.
That's right. Yeah.
But so it ties in there, but You're right, and there's not a whole lot, nothing new is introduced, nothing is resolved.
I think that this secondary character played by Joseph Quinn is a good one, and the Glenn Powell tradition, maybe. Not overwhelming as an actor, but a good, solid.
Talk to me in 6 months with that not overwhelming Glenn Powell discussion.
Oh, right.
After
yeah.
Twisters comes out, yeah.
Okay. So are you thinking he's?
I'm not a big Glenn Powell.
Well, I know, and I'm not either.
Yeah.
He's sweet, he's nice, but I just don't see anything terrific about this guy, except that isn't it funny how they're just pushing somebody right now?
Well, he had a couple tractions. I don't think you can. Like I don't think he had any impact on the box office of Top Gun, but he was in it.
Yeah, he was in it.
He was in it.
And you kind of can remember him.
Yeah.
So it's, well, Kev, we have plenty of time to chew around about other horror films that we might want to compare with and or talk about relative to this to kind of put its place in history. But we have Quiet Place Day One. What do you advise our audience?
It's a well-made movie. If you want to see a thriller, it's just an alternative take on the Quiet Place story. Go see it. It's very well done.
Yes, all right.
But if you want more of the franchise, it doesn't open any new doors.
And you need to go to, our website, WCBE.org,
Yep.
to double take to our podcast. If they want to hear more of Kevin's blather now, there aren't any monsters around to keep him shut up, because that's the only thing that's going to shut him up.
Yeah, I will just keep talking.
Classics, let's go to the movies and share some popcorn, soda pop with